Shalom. First and foremost, as always, we want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth through the Holy Spirit. And we want to give a special peace and blessings and salutations to the elect. All right, we out here another week to teach the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, and to let you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans know that you are the true children of Israel according to the Bible. Okay, and also that according to the Bible, America, Babylon the Great, which is in Revelation the 17th chapter, Revelation the 18th chapter, okay, will be destroyed by the way of fire. Okay, and we found out through the Holy Scriptures, all right, that's nuclear fire. Okay, and that's all gonna happen in the midst of World War III. All right, so whatever you got, you can bring it out.
Yeah, I just want to touch up on the recent news that the jab is starting to get mandated out there. You had that incident with the mayor of New York City saying that certain workers in the restaurant, gym, and entertainment industries, and as well as the customers have to get the jab, and that they're going to start enforcing it. People are going to have to start showing their papers, and a lot of people were online were comparing that to what happened in Nazi Germany. Okay, when they were persecuting and separating people, they had to show their papers, right? But we know that the time of persecution is coming, and we really need to depend on the Lord during that time, man. This is us. I'm going to start with Psalm 28. Unto thee will I cry, O Yahweh my rock. Be not silent to me, lest if thou be silent to me, I become like them that go down into the pit. Meaning what? These people of the world. That just do whatever they're told. They're like zombies, man. They have it's almost like they have no free thought. Mm-hmm. They don't think. Okay? That's why they're called sheeple. Hear the voice of my supplications when I cry unto thee, when I lift up my hands toward thy holy oracle. Draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace to their neighbors, right? He was out there saying it was a good thing. Okay? So he was saying that, I know some people aren't going to like this. But then at the end of the day, he's sitting there saying, it's going to be better because of it. Which speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. Okay? Which is the art of deception, which Esau has mastered. Okay, he's totally mastered the art of deception, man. He's got the majority of these people just following whatever the hell he does, man. Just believing everything.
Yeah, I don't think people really understand how much we're gonna need Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai in these latter times. It's easy to think about it, or it's easy to speak about it, but until you actually put in a situation where where the devil is on your ass, so to speak, or he's trying to force you to do something, then that's when the Lord is really going to show his hand. That's when the Lord is going to show his power. Because I mentioned last week that, we're going to see miracles in these latter times. Just like during the time of Egypt, when the Lord was using Moses, and the children of Israel during that time, when you read that story, they saw miracles. And they still, was bucking up against Moses and wanted to some of them even wanted to go back to Egypt. So when you read 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, and the Lord said that he's going to smite Egypt with plagues as before, we got to understand that we're going to see some even greater miracles, if you will. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna really need the Lord in these latter times, because we understand that we don't have no power ourselves. So we're going to need a higher power to deliver us from these certain situations.
And the Lord can create situations that could happen. Like if you're one of those brothers that has to get the jab or lose your job, the Most High can make a situation happen. Like, I had to leave my job because they were mandating the jab, and then all of a sudden you get an opportunity to a place that doesn't have the jab. Men of faith are going to have to be scrambling, man. Until there's no choice but, hey, get this chip, get this MOB, or that's it. Okay? But that's what these devils want to do. They want to make us scramble. Okay? But that's all really the plan of the Lord at the end of the day. It's a test of faith. Give them according to their deeds and according to the wickedness of their endeavors. Give them after the work of their hands. Render to them their desert. Oh, wait, desert. It's like I said desert. I was about to say desert is two S's. Because they regard not the works of the Lord. And on all these videos that I was seeing on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitter, and all that, you had all these people commenting, posting Revelation 13 and 16 constantly, right? Because they regard not the works of the Lord, and that's the works of the Lord, man. It was written thousands of years ago that this time would be happening, man. That these kinds of things would be happening, that this system was going to move over. Nor the operation of his hands, he shall destroy them and not build them up. Blessed be the Lord, because he hath heard the voice of my supplication.
Yeah, and that's what we are to do. That's why we come out here diligently, because the scriptures tell us to sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. All right, and it says to set a mark upon the men that, get that real quick, to set a mark upon the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And when you go into that Hebrew word mark, it means dawa, to be exempt from judgment. You gotta just read it real quick.
Ezekiel 9 and 4. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
And that's what you see today with the prophets, the men of the Lord. They're sighing and crying for all the abominations that you see in the earth. You know, you can't slip up and say the wrong letter with the alphabet people. You know, especially these celebrities, man, they slip up and say the wrong thing, they get canceled, so to speak. You know, so we're sighing and crying for the Lord to come back and deliver us from all these wicked abominations we see around us, because this society is wicked, man. It's wicked as hell. You know, and they want to do wicked things to you. You know, especially you Israelites out there. You see what Como said about the jab. He said blacks and Latinos need to get it first. You know, so they ultimately we know the devil is out to kill Jacob. And that's how it was from the beginning. Even going back when Esau said, I will slay my brother Jacob. So in the majority of our people in the world, they don't give a shit. You know, they line up, you know, like sheep. They follow the devil wherever, you know, whatever he does. But then you got men on the right-hand side who's teaching the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's why the Lord said this is a small sanctuary, because everybody's not going to get it.
Yeah, that's why it says the souls of the just complain continually.
Yep.
You know?
Hey, to people in the world, we sound like a bunch of, you know, grumpy-ass niggas, you know? Like, damn, like, you know, why don't y'all do something with yourselves? Well, we have everyday lives, you know? It just so happens that we teach the word of the Most High. And we're diligent about it, and we believe what the word says.
Yeah, you got a lot of idiots that say, get a job. Well, hey, man, we had jobs the whole time. You know, some brothers got their own businesses. You know, they got their own little side investments, side hustles, and that.
Yep. Got a little off topic on that scripture, but
so that get a job thing don't work no more. Okay,
that's
work
old.
No more. And to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity.
Now that mark is different from Revelation 13 and 16, because this mark is written in the Hebrew, and Revelation 13 and 16, that's the Greek. So this mark means thawa, which means to be exempt from judgment. So the scripture said those men that don't have this mark go through the city and smite. They're gonna catch the judgment. You know, but the men of the Lord who's out here teaching diligently, all right, and they really believe on this word. I can't stop looking at those drones over there.
I know. Every time we come out here, too.
Yeah. The men of the Lord who's diligently teaching this word, all right, they're going to be exempt from the judgment, man. You know, they're going to be protected in that time. That's why the scriptures say the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him. You got to have the fear of the Lord in these latter times, especially how he's trying to roll now, because he's trying to do this. He's really the devil, man. You know, growing up, you thought that he was just, you know, But when you come into this knowledge and you really understand the things that he's doing, he's really the devil in the flesh.
Hey,
You know?
hey, man, I was watching that speech from De Blasio the other day, and I was like, man, it's time to put everything aside and go harder than ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go harder than ever, man. And don't be shy when it comes to praying for brothers that may be in those areas. You know, like for instance, I mentioned in my late night commentaries video last night. You know, like when you hear about wildfires in California or a hurricane hitting a certain area. You know, don't be shy about praying for brothers in those areas, man. You ain't gotta be specific with every brother, but you know, hey, you know, may how about Shimmy Shai, look out for those brothers in New York City that are about to be drugged through the mud and possibly lose their jobs, man, and have a hard time paying their way. You know, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children.
Yeah, so the Lord's not gonna spare. You know, hey, think about during the time of the flood, during the time of Noah. The Lord only saved 8 souls, right? And you know there was babies and children and old people, and they was all living back then. And the Lord, what did he do? He destroyed all of them. Because he's the Heavenly Father. He can, the scriptures say the Lord can raise up rocks. You know? So the same thing during this time, right? When those thermonuclear missiles hit America and different parts of the earth, the Lord's going to destroy whoever he will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's going to save his elect. And the elect just happens to be from one particular nation, the nation of Israel. And not those people over there, because they're not the Israelites.
Yeah, man, it's spiritual. We pulled up, we seen a
bunch of
SUV?
Amalekites.
SUV with a whole bunch of Aramaic letters all over. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, a bunch of Amalekites. Go ahead.
I'm not even going to use the K word. I don't want to get it funny. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any
Both
man.
maids, little children, and women. Go ahead.
But come not near any man upon whom is the mark.
But come not upon any man who has the mark. So if you read in the scriptures, you can't get that mixed up with the mark of the beast in the mark in Ezekiel the 9th chapter, because it's 2 different things. All right, this mark here is a protection. It's a hedge.
From when them angels start bringing serious judgment.
Yep, and those chariot sightings have been shown. Them chariots have been showing themselves a lot more in the earth. You know, the brother posted a video yesterday about a fleet of chariots, and then NASA, I believe he said they cut the footage or something.
Yeah, that's why
it was a fleet of chariots out there.
NASA used to do live streams of space 24/7, and they stopped doing that because they had to keep cutting the stream a couple years ago, man.
The angels of the Lord.
You figure the streaming technology has grown by leaps and bounds over the last couple years, so they should be doing it more than ever.
You can go back to whatever you had.
And begin at my sanctuary when they begin at the ancient men which were before the house. Okay, this is Slacky, bear with me 1 second. Okay, back in Psalm 28, and I think I left off at 7. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. All right, so the Most High can help you, man.
Yeah,
okay?
that's Isaiah 59. The Lord's hand is not shortened that it cannot save. And not only can the Lord help, he is going to help us. You know, he's gonna be that shield in the time of trouble. All right, and we firm. You gotta firmly stand on that. You gotta firmly believe that.
And an important thing to note is that song was written by David, King David, and that's what we're trying to rebuild, the house of David. Okay, so we have to think like King David. Real quick, and we're gonna go back to that. Proverbs 18:10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, the righteous runneth into it and is safe.
And that's why you got to keep. That's why you got to keep the name, you know, at all times in your mind. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. So in the time of trouble, all right, when you think you can't get out of something, you got to call on the name of the Lord. You know, the scriptures even say that they that call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Now the Christians will teach that that's talking about everybody, But that's why the Lord had it written again in Acts, the 2nd chapter, because it says the same thing. They that call up, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Ye men of Israel, hear these words. The name of the Lord is for the children of Israel, not for the other nations. The scriptures even tell us that the name of the Lord is dreadful among the heathen. You know, so that name, and like the brother just read, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. That name is definitely going to help us in these latter times. All right, and all these guys out here that make fun of the name, they're gonna get caught up in mischief, man. They're gonna get caught in a trap. Like Nate, he used to scoff at the name, you know, and a bunch of other Israelite camps. I was watching that One Body.
Oh,
you know,
those
One
guys
Body.
that say that.
Yeah, they say Christ all the time, but they say they call on Yahushua. You know,
I believe. I mean, don't quote me. I believe they were in Great Millstone, weren't they?
no, I thought it was IUIC or I don't know, but we know they're a separate camp now. So
Yeah. That's ridiculous, man. Yahushua didn't work no miracles. That's ridiculous. And when the scriptures say that he did so many miraculous things that
they couldn't be contained in the books.
they couldn't be contained in the books. Who knows? Them guys are sounding like offshoots of Sakari. This is back in Psalm 28. I'm going to read 7 here. Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore my heart greatly rejoiceth, and with my song will I praise him. The Lord is their strength, and he is the saving strength of his anointed. And the scriptures say, touch not my anointed, neither do my prophets no harm, man. So the Lord is going to protect us during that day. Now you do have the brothers that are going to have to get tortured, you know, get delivered up to the camps, get possibly beheaded, okay, for the witness of Yahushua. But that's their lot, okay? That's their lot. But at the end of the day, man, the Lord is going to preserve you from the second death, which is the most important thing to be preserved from. Okay, that second death meaning what? The lake of fire, those nuclear missiles. Save thy people and bless thine inheritance. Feed them also and lift them up forever. And we could read Psalm. we could just do a whole camp on Psalms, man. This is Psalm 27. I'm gonna go back a psalm. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Okay, you shouldn't fear these devils, man. The scriptures say we are not ignorant of Satan's devices, and we know what's got to happen, okay? We know he's going to chip away at people's so-called freedoms and liberties, you know, and try and chip away at people's way of life. As he gets closer and closer to making that new world order, man, building that new world order. He's building that enterprise right now. The Lord said that he will not allow him to build his enterprise in the book of Job. Okay, so the Most High is going to put an end to those plans, man. He's only going to let these devils get so far. Just like he only lets them get so far with his wickedness in other areas, man. This devil's been trying to clone humans for 30 fucking years, man. The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Wow. Though a host should encamp against me, think about that, man. You try and picture it during that time, you know, the martial law troops.
Yeah, the military troops, the FEMA troops, they come in, you know, knocking at your door, you know, because they know who the men of the Lord are. You know, they know who we are, you know, but we just have a hedge around us that they can't just come snatch us up anytime they feel like it. You know, everything happens on the Lord's watch, but there will be FEMA troops, all right? Foreign troops, you know, who come after the men of the Lord in that time. It happened in the past. It's going to happen again. And that's what makes this truth. This truth is really, you got to really know what you involved in, because this is serious. You know, the children of Israel awakening is a serious thing to Esau. You know, because he's tried to hide it for so long. You know, calling us different bywords, and that's why when he conquered us, he called us different names. You know, Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, and so on, Mexicans. You know, that's not our those aren't our biblical nationalities. So the fact that we're waking up in the earth, as it was prophesied in the scriptures, that we will wake up in the latter times, that means that we're a part of the story that was written. Okay, and this is a threat to his society, because what? The children of Israel rising up, right? It was a kingdom promised to them. So that means Esau is gonna have to fall. And when you get a chance, get Jeremiah 50 and 28.
All right.
Because the scriptures tell us Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Yeah, and it says, though a host should encamp against me. Think about during that. Think about when somebody gets their house raided. You know, the cops are all around there. They got the SWAT team and all that. Ain't no getting out of that house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ain't no getting out. How much more so the military, you know, or the National Guard, or so on and so forth, or those UN blue hats. Okay, the one brother had a dream about that, about them blue hats, the UN blue hat troops, man. They were circling the cities and fighting against the so-called patriotic people, man. But hey, think about during the time when Saul was chasing David everywhere. Okay, the Lord made it so that David went into hiding, and he successfully hid wherever he went from his enemies. The Lord can do that, man. He could have a whole army chasing your ass and have you hidden somewhere, and they go right by you. Or you could have them catch you and have some kind of mercy on you, man. You know, like there was one brother that got and I keep, you know, I mean, we got to bring up the testimony sometimes. There was one brother who got arrested for teaching the word a couple years ago, and he gave this testimony where I guess they gave him extra food compared to the other prisoners, man. You know, the guards were more kind to him than the others. Though a host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. One thing have I desired of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. Let me turn to Psalm 91 just to, you know, so I don't forget. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion, and the secret of his tabernacle, which is what? The tabernacle of David, shall he hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock, and now shall my head be lifted up above my enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing, yea, I will sing praises unto the Lord.
And that's why I mentioned that, you know, during this time we're gonna need the Lord more than ever. You know, the scriptures, and you gotta have faith, man. That's really what it boils down to, having faith. Because if you don't have faith, what? You're gonna fold. You're gonna buckle up. You know. But if you have faith into the end, you know, the scriptures even says that in Hebrews the 11th chapter, 11 and 6. Without faith, it is impossible to please Him. Right, and then it gives us the stories of our forefathers, how they had faith in the situations they went through. So like it says in Psalms, what's that? Psalms 28.
This is 27.
It says the Lord is gonna hide you in His pavilion, man. The Lord can do. He can do anything. You know, He can literally do anything, man, because He's the Heavenly Father. And like I said, well, I'll say it again. We're gonna see a lot of miracles take place. A lot of miracles are gonna take place in these latter times, and people are gonna be like, "Oh shit," you know. But it takes faith to believe these things. You know, when you read these stories, you gotta really believe that those things happened. when the Lord delivered David from his enemies. Basically made him fucking teleport. You know, lifted him up from his enemies and just hit him. When you read stories about Noah being out there for 120 years prophesying and teaching and building the ark with his family, you know, you got to believe those stories.
Think about the things that King David did, man. There were other nations that, you know, I know that we're not really supposed to make things with the Bible, but, you know, if it backs up the Bible, there were other nations that have historical references about what a great warrior King David was, and that he had a power backing him, man. Like we always mention, what was it, the Moabite stone?
Yeah, the other nations, they recorded things too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
a lot of other nations recorded the flood and other things that happened, man. There were a lot of nations that recorded about the wisdom and riches of King Solomon, so on and so forth. But the Bible's a bunch of fairy tales, right? Even though these are historical people that actually existed.
Go to Jeremiah.
Okay. Was it 50 and
28?
Jeremiah 50 and 28. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our power, the vengeance of his temple. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done, do unto her.
Yeah, it says, call together the archers against Babylon. And we know that's synonymous with the ICBMs. Mm-hmm. All right, and the reason why they're known as ICBMs is because they can travel from one continent to another. Intercontinental ballistic missiles. You know, and the scriptures describe the missiles as arrows. So in Jeremiah it said, call together the archers against Babylon. Keep reading that.
Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow.
All ye that bend the bow. Go ahead.
Camp against it round about, let none thereof escape.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that, man. It takes faith. It takes great faith to believe that you're going to be brought up into a chariot, because if you don't escape before that bow gets bent, that's it for you. You're going to be stuck in that fire, because hey, we're living in the land that this is prophesied about.
And when you really think about it, what else could deliver you from a nuclear missile? Mm-hmm. You ain't gonna get no plane, because when the missile hits, that impact is gonna knock the plane out the sky.
What was that one group years ago? What was it, GOCC, that went to Egypt or Israel or some shit?
Mm-hmm. So you really need a chariot. You need a chariot to deliver you from something of that magnitude, because the chariots can appear, they can disappear, they can change shapes, they can go at speeds that Esau doesn't know about. They can literally zip up into the heavens. So you have to have a chariot to deliver you from that. Go ahead.
Wait, there was a since a lot of UFO, so-called UFO stuff is getting declassified now, there was that one military general who said that the technology of UFOs is like literally over 1,000 years ahead of ours. That's what he was saying. So what, they can't deliver? They can't beam you up? Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done, do unto her, for she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel.
And that's the society. You know, that's just talking about Babylon. Keep reading.
Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee.
Yeah, the Lord said, read that part again.
For thy day is come.
For thy day is come.
The time that I will visit thee.
the time that he's gonna visit you. And Esau knows that day is coming. That's why the scriptures say he has a time. You know, the Job 20:4. Go ahead.
And the most proud shall stumble and fall, which is the Edomites, and none shall raise him up, and I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him.
And that's why the Lord described, even when you read Obadiah, it tells you the pride of these Edomites. Like you had Jeff Bezos and those other handful of Edomites go into space. Why do you think they so happy when they just able to go outside the earth? You know that, and that proves that they never went to the moon too. Because they went outer space, but they not really out there like that. They just basically above the earth. They not really out far like that.
They're just floating out above the atmosphere.
Yeah, they not far like that, man. And now you mean to tell me they went to the moon in 1969? They went all the way to the moon, and now we got all this technology, all this advanced computers and all this shit, and they can't go back there.
And since I'm a techie, I gotta break this down. Okay, you could go and look up the specifications of the computers that they used and the Wi-Fi that they used back then. Okay, they were using. Okay, today's computers are 64-bit computers, and these servers on YouTube have hundreds of these CPUs in them. Your phone, this phone has 8 CPUs that are 64-bit and multiple gigahertz. Right? You're telling me a little 5.8 megahertz 8-bit computer could decode video on the fly and send it back to Earth hundreds of thousands of miles away,
and they
broadcast it live on the fucking TV.
And they supposedly was live when it happened.
That might not even be possible today.
That's green screen.
Yeah, it's green screen, man. Here it is. We got these 8 multiple gigahertz CPUs, 8 cores, and the shit struggles to fucking transcode it. But they did that shit with some 5 megahertz fucking 8-bit.
You buffering with 5G today.
Yeah.
We buffering with 5G. It's supposed to be super quick. And that was 1969, so you know that was a lie, you know? That was a lie.
And we're sending signals to our fucking internet providers, man. We ain't sending it 100,000 miles away in the damn moon, 300,000 miles away.
And we also know that they can't go past the Van Allen belt. That's why the Lord has it. If these devils can really go to the moon, they would already be there, man. They'd be there right now. You know? That's why a lot of times they were recorded that they were shooting at the moon to see if it was water on the moon. Because if they could, they would go to other planets and destroy that. We know it's trash in outer space. Why is it trash in outer space? Because the devil is in rulership, man.
And all this just made me remember that guy used to come up to the camp every week, the NASA guy with the...
Oh, yeah.
He was probably an Amalekite, man.
Yeah, he really believed in that moon landing.
Every time this dude walked by the camp, he'd have a different NASA shirt on. Like, he fucking worshipped it. Like, it was some kind of deity.
Yeah, I remember him.
He couldn't answer that camera decoding thing that I just explained, man. Back to the scriptures. Where I leave off, verse 30. Jeremiah 15:30. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord.
Yeah, hey, Esau has his military troops ready for war at any time. You know, and he gets you when you young, when you 17. All right, sometimes you might not even be old enough, but you'll have a birthday coming up and he'll let you in there. You know, so he has his military troops ready for war, to fight against who? Yahweh Shai and the angels. It tells you that in the book of Revelation as well. Michael and his angels shall stand up and fight against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels. And the dragon and his angels are who? Esau and his military.
Well, like you were saying, they allow military recruiters on high schools.
Yep.
And on college campuses, man. They're all over the place.
He get your ass before you even could have a life. He snatch your ass up.
But when you're still young and you're indecisive,
vulnerable,
they try getting me.
You know,
I almost bit too.
But hey, the brother behind the camera, he's a witness. When you get in there, you ready to get the fuck out. You know, you ready to get the fuck out, man. Because a lot of them wake up. You know, a lot of them don't want to. You get a lot of them that are zombies, that they worship that shit. They like being
Right.
told what to do. They like when to be told when to eat. They like being told when to go to sleep. They like that shit, and that's mostly those Edomites.
Hey, I had a friend who went and served in Iraq, and he became a conspiracy theorist when he went in there, man. He said that they were taking depleted uranium, which is nuclear waste, and they're blowing it up in schools and in hospitals and that. And then you read these reports of children in Iraq getting cancer like crazy, man.
Yep.
He said a lot of them soldiers were getting sick too.
Now, if somebody was to do that to America, what? They will be an active terrorist immediately. But here, that's why the scriptures describe Babylon as what? The hammer of the earth. Because they can go over there and blow shit up and kill people and do this. But if somebody was to do that on this land, it will be a war. You know? And that's also hypocrisy. That's hypocrisy. You can't do something to somebody else that you wouldn't want done on your land. But they'll claim that they're protecting, you know, America, which is all bullshit, man. It's all bullshit.
Yeah. You're protecting America against some country that has absolutely no means of attacking you. You know?
Yep. Continue on.
And the most proud shall stumble and fall.
And the most proud shall stumble and fall. Go ahead.
And none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him.
Yeah, the Lord's going to TKO this motherfucking place, man. The Lord's going to TKO this place.
And it ain't going to be no love TKO like Teddy Pendergrass.
Nah, it's going to be a real TKO, man.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together.
And that was mainly in this land right here. Yeah, we were scattered, but that really happened in America, man. You know, but it happened in different parts of the earth too. Go ahead.
And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
And we went through our various captivities, you know, under different nations, but none was like the captivity under the Edomites. You know, and especially in this time today and during the time of slavery. No captivity was like that, man. Go ahead.
Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name.
Hey, that's why in the fields, when the slaves would be picking cotton, they would sing "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot." But that wasn't the time for them to be delivered. We had a long ways to go. You know, and they would see the chariots while they was out there in the cotton field, and they would sing that song because they was wishing that they could get scooped up and get delivered out of their situation. Well, now the Lord is going to do that in this time. The prophets had to come first. You know, the word of the Lord had to be pushed out into the earth. Like a lot of people might see us and think we're the only ones that teach this word. There's brothers around the whole globe teaching the same message. And that proves that what? The power of the Lord is in the earth, man. The scriptures say in Luke 1:70, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. So this is how the Lord is speaking.
Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause.
He shall thoroughly plead their cause. Go ahead.
That he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men.
So the Lord is going to send that sword. All right? The Lord is going to send the sword. And the ultimate sword is the missiles. Go ahead.
A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed.
See, the missiles that these nations are building, they're not going to just collect dust forever. All right? A lot of missiles are being stored in the silos. A lot of missiles are being paraded in the streets. Some of them are, you know, put away. But there's going to come a time where the Lord is going to have those missiles used for war. All right? Go ahead.
A sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there.
And what does this sound like? This sounds like Revelation.
Yeah, it says right there in the corner, Revelation 18:2.
So that proves that this is that Jeremiah was talking about now. You know, go ahead.
And it shall be no more inhabited forever.
It shall no more be inhabited forever, because this is basically gonna be like the Forbidden Zone, right? In the old Planet of the Apes, 1969, they had the Forbidden Zone. That's America. And even in the movie, they showed you the Statue of Liberty when it was who was his name? Charleston Heston. He played in that, right?
Yeah.
He thought that he was on another planet the whole time, because the apes were in power, which were really Israelites. They come to find out he was right on Earth, man. Go ahead.
Neither shall it be dwelt in. Oh, Slacky. It shall be no more inhabited forever. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
As the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation.
Salaki, what did the Lord do to Sodom and Gomorrah? He made fire. He made brimstone, fire and brimstone rain from the heavens. You know, and destroyed all those wicked souls in Sodom and Gomorrah. And America is pushing the same vibration as Sodom, man. I mean, these fucking alphabet people, they got more rights than a regular person, than a straight male. You can't say shit about these motherfuckers, man, or there's some type of penalty. And that'll never happen in a righteous society, man. And that's one of the biggest things that's being pushed in America is feminism shit, these alphabet people, this queer, wicked, faggot shit, man. That the Lord don't like none of that shit. The Lord hates. It's a smoke in his nose, man. And it's being pushed on your children. You got to see it every time you watch a TV show. It's like you can't escape the shit, man. And if you speak out against it, what? Sometimes they'll flag the videos. If you a celebrity, they'll cancel your ass, so to speak. So the Lord's got to get rid of this shit, man. And he will in due time.
Mm-hmm. They're really pushing that shit on the children. They're teaching that shit in the schools now. You know, they're teaching the children when they're teenagers in health class, instead of boy and girl, they're teaching them to find themselves, to explore. They're teaching them to explore their sexuality, man. Behold, the people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coasts of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses. Everyone put in array, like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. The king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as a woman in travail. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan unto the habitation of the strong. I will make them suddenly run away from her. And who is a chosen man, that I may appoint over her? For who is like me? And who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Well, hey, there's the least of the flock. Wait, did they leave? I think the least of the flock just left.
We drew them out.
Just like they're gonna. Well, hey, the breakdown of that scripture is that you notice, man, whenever America gets entangled in the Middle East, it's easy to stick up for Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's easy to stick up for Israel, man. You look out for their interests. That's why America. I mean, when we look at what America does, Israel gets all of America's best weapons, and they get billions of dollars from them every year. You know, and this whole thing with Iran, none of it have anything to do with America. It's all about Israel, man.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been pecking at Iran for a long time now.
Yeah, World War III is definitely on the brinks, man. Definitely on the horizon. You can finish up a couple more verses, then we can get out of here.
At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved.
I'll read that again.
At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved.
At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved. From what? The nukes.
And the earth shall
Reel
reel.
to and fro like a drunkard.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one. I never caught that one. Go ahead.
And the cry is heard among the nations.
And the cry is
And
heard
that's
among
the end, and that's the end of the chapter.
and the cry is heard among the nations. It tells you in Revelations that they're gonna weep
Yeah.
and wail because America's destroyed. Because the other nations, they flourish here. This is like they love it over here, man. They can do whatever they want. They make all the money they want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the other nations love America, man. So when this place is destroyed, like it says in Revelation, the nations are gonna weep and wail. You know, and we're gonna rejoice, man. You know.
Right.
So with that, you know, Lord willing, you brothers were edified. We want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. Shalom to the elect, and we'll see you brothers Sunday. Shalom.
Shalom.